So, taking a step back here, looking at the year of 2022, there's certain data that really shows which crimes were most common in the city of Houston and can indicate what's really on the rise. So, crime in Houston has been a hot topic throughout the year, and of course, is key in elections during the midterms. But recently, a census was taken for the year of 2022 by the Houston Police Department, where they assessed, which crimes are the most common, right? And which crimes are on the rise. And what's interesting is, at a high level, I would say 10 months of data that's currently available, and I'm going to put some slides up for you guys, that way you can see what I'm talking about here. But in the 10 months of data currently available for the year of 2022, the Houston Police Department responded to about 191,053 incidents and recorded a total of 220,000 offenses. A single incident may have multiple offenses related to it, which is true, right? One crime scene can have, several instances. I think that's common sense. For instance, if someone breaks into your car window to steal something, it's breaking into the car, and then you steal something, that's multiple offenses in one act. I get it, right? What's interesting is, broad crime summaries in the city can somewhat help us understand what's happening in a granular scale, right? So what you're seeing here is a breakdown for offenses. You can call it a 3-month rolling average of what's really going on in the city. And as you can see, murder has been on the rise. Rape cases have declined. Burglaries have declined. Robbery, motor theft vehicles, etc. Now, this information comes from the Houston Police Department NIPRS database. But, with the more harmful crimes, kind of broken out, murder, aggravated assault, and motor vehicle theft are trending up. Rape, robbery, and burglary are trending down, right? This data, however, encompasses only crimes that HPD responds to and writes up in an official incident report. So this is interesting, guys. Like, I remember coming up as a kid and kind of hearing the elders in the family talk. If something occurs, that's what's just reported, okay? Personally, I kind of take it as a rule of thumb. I kind of multiply the number of incidents reported by 1.5, maybe 2, to give a realistic sense of what's really happening, because in the city of Houston, guys, I'm not going to lie to you, police responses have been longer. It's not that easy to get assistance if you have an emergency in the city. What used to be a 10, like maybe a 10-minute wait for police, 5-minute wait for police is now like 20, 30 minutes. Some people can't even get law enforcement on the phone. And that's for real. Well, one of the things here, underreporting is not uniform across crimes or, crime types. I think this is something that we should understand. Motor vehicle theft, which is a property crime, is one of the most frequently reported crimes at about 76.9%. And rape/sexual assault, a violent crime, is only reported to police 21.5% of the time, which is a whole nother discussion. However, property crimes overall were less reported at about 30.8% compared to violent crimes, excluding the homicide rates at about 45.6% in 2021. The report cites common reasons for non-reporting include fear of reprisal or getting the offender in trouble, believing that police would not or could not do anything to help, and believing the crime to be a personal issue or too trivial to report. So that is a situation, guys, where, you could have a scenario where someone may not come forward because they may feel a sense of shame or just embarrassment. That's human nature for sure. What's interesting, folks, is the Department of Justice came out with a plan back in September of 2022 to radically go after some of the worst violent crime offenders and gangs in the city of Houston. And so the U.S. Department of Justice is sending 5 prosecutors from its organized crime and gang section of Houston, as part of a new effort to try to curb violent crime across the region. Prosecutors will work in Houston over the next 2 years. Now, if you haven't heard lately, there was a situation with the Sauce Factory gang, but that's going to be another video for another time. I'll do a follow-up on something like that. But the new initiative from the DOJ will include the nation's foremost experts on charging RICO prosecutions, along with other prosecutors from the U.S. Attorney's Office, analysts from the FBI and the ATF, local law enforcement agencies, etc., and the like. So what they plan to do, guys, is really go through the city and crack down on some of the gang activity happening across Houston itself, right? The first of its kind initiative comes as the nation's homicide rate rose 30% in 2020, according to the most recently available federal data. Houston has not been immune. The city has weathered some about 473 homicides in the year of 2021. 2 years before, that number was about 280 homicides. But as you guys know, we have people coming down to Houston, moving from different states. Cultures change, perspectives change. It's still wrong, though, right? If we work together to battle the problem, and this is the U.S. Attorney Jennifer Lowry being quoted, if we work together to battle the problem, we can make a difference, end quote. She says, this is our community, too. We want to do all we can to make sure everyone feels safe in Houston. And like I said in previous videos, guys, you need to use common sense for yourself when you're going out and about. Organized crime prosecutors typically work some of the DOJ's most challenging cases. In the recent years, Texas-based ATF agents partnered with OCGS prosecutors to take down 2 white power prison gangs, the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas and the Aryan Circle. So they're really taking the initiative to say, hey, listen, it doesn't really matter how many people are in your organization. We're coming after everyone. And they're specifically using RICO to take down and crack down on these criminal organizations. James Smith, who's a special agent in charge at the FBI's Houston field office, said, quote, if we target a gang or gangs, we target the entire enterprise. If a gang has 200 members, we're going to try to take all 200 members off the street. If they're going to commit crime and work as an organization and terrorize the streets, that's where we're going to bring those resources. Smith pointed out the indictment in August of 10 MS-13 gang members on murder and racketeering charges as one example. So this is something, guys, that I would say in every single city is a common theme, right? DAs across the nation are really cracking down on whether it be a rapper with an organization, just criminal enterprises in general. It's going to be very interesting to see where the city goes over the next few years. They did say that they're here for 2 years on assignment at least, so they're still here rocking and socking. It's the Bayou City Report. I'm checking out. God bless you guys. Peace.